building.
Yo, we in the house.
Yo.
This is Conversation with Jocks, where we give you positive perspectives on our daily encounters.
Welcome back again for another episode. Today's episode, I thought they got me. What's going on, JOC? What's going on, Jay? Do you hear about the Simpsons predictions? What's your take?
Hey, them boys don't miss, man. They don't miss. They do not miss. I think old boy a time traveler. That's just me personally.
Yeah, that's crazy. But I do think the Simpsons get credit for doing episodes that they probably didn't even do, even though it is kind of creepy how many things they have predicted. But ultimately, we always got to do our fact checking about this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, 1-2 times coincidence, but 10 plus times.
Yeah, man.
It's crazy.
That's why I said, man, they don't miss. Well, actually, they did miss on one thing that I could say is that the Trump presidency, they did hit on that. Yes, they did hit on that. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, one of the episodes they had that Trump died.
Right. He wasn't able to finish his term.
Yeah.
And Lisa became president.
Yeah.
So unless they saying that his term was interrupted and then he's going to be president again, I did see that. And also they predicted the Bengals, that year the Bengals went to the Super Bowl against what other team? But the Simpsons predicted the wrong team winning. So they did predict the right football teams going to the Super Bowl.
No. Are you sure that was it? I thought it was the Seahawks and the Broncos. No. And they picked the Seahawks to blow out the Broncos.
Yeah, not that Super Bowl.
Oh.
Yeah, one with the Bengals. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's crazy.
Okay. All right, let's get into our show. But before we get into our show, let's start off with a cheat code.
Today's cheat code. How to improve your chances of getting out of a speeding ticket. The first thing, as soon as you see those cop lights come on, just pull over. Don't wait for him to come and get you. Pull over. And when you pull over, you want to exaggerate the actual sliding over. Don't just stay on the shoulder. If you have to get up on the grass, go ahead and give several car spaces. And the reason you want to do this is so when the officer gets out of his car, he doesn't have to stress or worry about oncoming traffic. So his mood is less stressful. It's easy because you pulled over so far that he's not in danger of being hit by oncoming traffic. The second thing you want to do is you want to roll down all your windows. Now, I watch a lot of social media, and I see people keep their windows up and they crack it a little bit because legally you don't necessarily have to do that. But there's just a strategy behind rolling down all your windows, your back windows. If it's nighttime, turn on your dome light so that the officer can look inside your car and not have to, feel unsafe or worry that someone is in there to ambush him. And thirdly, when the officer speaks to you, never say things like, I didn't realize how fast I was going. To a police officer, you're driving a however much ton vehicle and you're speeding down the hallway and you didn't realize how fast you was going. That's just not something they want to hear. It's better to say, I'm sorry. It won't happen again. And just show the officer respect for his authority and his position. And just by doing those few things, I've managed to get out of a lot of speeding tickets. So that is your cheat code.
Nice.
Yeah. I can piggyback off of that for certain. And because a lot of those things I do, actually, especially at nighttime, the kind of car that I drive, it's not a family friendly vehicle that you would think, oh, it's kids in here and, things like that. So, and plus my tints are blacked out. So, especially at nighttime, because I've been pulled over quite a few times just because the type of car that I drive, strictly just off of that. And when I do pull over, I do pull over immediately. And the first thing I do is turn on all the lights in the car. And I do pull my windows down and I put one hand out the window and the other one on the steering wheel, just for my safety as well as the officer's safety. And it's never why you pull me over or whoop, whoop, whoop. I just don't say anything. I let them come up to me or she come up to me and it's always no ma'am, no sir, yes ma'am, yes sir, because last thing I want is, any back. I don't want any back and forth.
Right.
I just want to get
escalated.
this. Yeah, I just want to get this thing over with.
Yeah.
So
yeah, keep it moving.
Yeah. So I definitely, love that cheat code.
Okay. All right, let's get into our episode. So I thought they got me. So we had a situation when Jay and O was flying in. Jay got his bag, and it was apparent that someone went through the bag. Walk us through your Jay.
They went through my bag. Now I'm just gonna say it like that. I had it zipped up a certain way. When I got the bag back, the zipper was moved on the other side.
So what was going through your mind as why this happened?
Oh, that janky airline and the employees is trying to get me. That's matter of fact, that's the last time I'm flying on that janky airline. I would say who y'all are, but I ain't gonna do it.
So we want to have a different mindset. And what mindset should we have, or what Jay should have had during that situation? Oh,
a much different mindset. He actually thought that they took one of his bags, and instantly when he said that, I started to worry. You know what? I got my laptop and I got the podcast equipment in there. I wonder if they took my stuff or went through my bag, and I can feel the stress. I can feel myself starting to be stressed and starting to worry. And I was like, you know what? Nah, I'm not going to get on this train. And I just stopped myself. I'm not worried about, I'm just not going to worry about it. I'm going to just relax. And Jay was like, yo, they took my hygiene kit, or they took one of my bags in there. And I think moments later, he found the bag. Was that correct?
Yeah, because it wasn't where I left it. It wasn't where I packed it. I packed my bag a certain way. I had my zippers in a certain way. And it wasn't like that when I got my luggage back. And on top of that, my luggage had this big old scuff mark on it. Like they was just handling my stuff any old kind of way. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, when I unzipped the bag, I didn't see my kit where I packed it.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
And when you didn't see the kit, I'm guessing you started to feel some type of way that you got.
Yeah, they got me.
So I could hear in your voice that you were upset. Did this feeling linger throughout the day? Did it change your mood?
Nah, not at all. Not at all. After I found my stuff, I was like, all right, there's a little janky airline. All right. And I just left it at that.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, we moved past it. But, as I start to think about my homie, from the time that he thought there was something missing to the time that he found it, in between that time, Jay was experiencing some unpleasant emotions. And I felt he didn't have to experience those unpleasant emotions because the whole time the kit was in there. And so I don't think that it's healthy for us to entertain certain thoughts that can cause stress and frustration, especially, there's a saying, he that suffers before its time suffers more than the time needed.
Man, he sounded like he want me to just be okay with somebody rambling through my stuff. That's what it came across to me as.
It's tough because in that moment, you're upset and you feel violated.
Yeah, they violated me.
And it takes...
They went in my bag.
Right. And it takes a real shift in mindset to even think otherwise. How can we master that? Or how can we put ourselves in a position not to say, hey, I got violated, but to think otherwise, or maybe say it's not something that was due to cause harm.
Man, that's like saying somebody slap you in your face and you supposed to turn the other cheek. Come on, man.
No.
Come on, man. I ain't with it.
No, I think
it was a violation.
Right. I understand. You perceive it to be a violation. I think a lot of times we should suspend judgment until we have more information, just so that we don't have to experience unpleasant feelings or thoughts. Because yes, someone entered Jay's bag. He's convinced that someone entered his bag, and that's very possible that was the case. But I think there's two different frames of thought of someone entering his bag. Either they rumbled through his bag, or they could have inspected his bag.
It wasn't no inspection.
But the point is,
hold on.
But the point is,
man,
the point is, those two different thoughts relate to someone going into his bag, but one is a negative perception of someone going to his bag, and another one is a positive experience of someone going into his bag.
My bag has been rambled through before, and they left me a nice little note. Sir, we just inspected your bag. There was no note in this bag. Just my stuff turned up and shifted around like you was looking for something valuable.
You did mention that this airline is not like the popular airlines, so maybe they just don't have notes. But it's very possible that it could have just been a bag inspection, not necessarily the thought of someone searching through your bag to get your valuables.
Look, if somebody roll up on you, slap you in your face, and then when you get into react, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to slap you. Come on, man.
I think that's an extreme example.
Is it extreme?
Yes.
Is it extreme?
Yes.
A violation is a violation, man.
No.
Is a violation, man.
Because in your mind, you're violated.
Yes.
I get that. So I would say, in a sense, not jump to conclusion. So if, giving another example, if I'm looking for my wallet and only myself and another person is in the home, if I can't find the wallet within 5 seconds, should I say, hey, you know what? He stole it?
No, but you'd be like, yo, where my wallet? Or yo, you seen my wallet?
But why can't I be like, you know what? Let me look harder. I misplaced it. There's something that, you know what, I probably done wrong before even thinking anything else.
Yeah, I always think it's best to suspend judgment and to assume the best of people. Not only does that give us more pleasant experiences and makes us generally more happier, but also gives people the gift of high expectation.
So even having that negative thought, and I was asking you earlier, would it linger and it dictate your day? If you think negative on these things or jump into conclusion?
It depends on the severity of the negativity. It depends on it just depends. Because like I said, if somebody slapped me in my face and then say, hey, you know what, I really didn't mean to slap you. Oh, I'm going to be stewing about that all day.
Once again, that's an extreme example.
But I'm just saying.
Got you.
Just like somebody went through my bag, right? That's not a question. I know somebody went through my bag. What reason they went through my bag? Yes, that's up for discussion. Whatever. That's why that didn't linger. Nothing was missing.
So there's
now, if something was missing, oh yeah, I would have been tight.
But you thought something was missing, and you was tight before you realized it was in there.
So it can affect your day, and it can affect your mood.
And it did affect his mood because you thought it was missing
temporarily.
Right,
temporarily.
But would your mood be affected if you had the other approach, where you're not jumping to conclusion or saying something negative?
Yeah, because we here, high society, beautiful sun, beautiful beach, and for a moment you was experiencing something unpleasant that wasn't even true.
It was true. The fact of the matter is somebody went through my bag. That was the whole problem to begin with. And somebody went through my bag. There's nothing behind it.
Well, the
I don't
untruth,
care. I don't care.
The untruth.
There's no untruth.
That
my
somebody
bag was tampered with.
Stole something.
My bag was tampered with.
Or inspected.
Tampered with. The first thing I said, the very first thing that came out of my mouth, yo, somebody went through my bag.
Yeah, which I don't have a problem with that.
It sounds like you got a problem. It sounds like you got a problem with me reacting to somebody going through my bag.
This is the problem I'm having, especially relating to when you thought something was missing. Once you thought, see, I'm zero in on that perception when you thought something was missing. You felt invaded. You felt
extra invaded.
You felt extra invaded. You felt robbed. And my point is, there was no need for you to feel robbed and the negative association that comes from those thoughts because you weren't robbed. So you suffered something that you didn't have to. And in this world, there are times that we do suffer. And because of that, we need not suffer not one iota more than what we need to. And a lot of times our perception is what can cause some of the suffering.
Look, if I go through and I jump from a 0 to a 7 because of a violation, and then I'm looking and I'm like, oh, I don't see something, and then I jump from that 7 to a 10, and then when I find it, I go instantly back down to a 0, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Because at the end of the day, that 7 was just because I was violated. My bag was rumbled through. Point blank, period.
But what
and that was the initial set off to begin with.
What if you're already at the 7 and then someone says something to bother you or make it worse, and then you retaliate towards them? It'd be something totally different, but because you're already at a 7, in that moment, you can do something that you maybe regret.
Then guess what? You should have said nothing to me.
Right.
And especially when you see I'm at a 7. Why are you talking to me? Why are you talking to me if I'm at a 7? Don't talk to me.
And that's the thing. Perception can become reality. And if we perceive the world a certain type of way, we can habitually or automatically go to places where we just believing that someone is trying to take advantage of us. And this is just a habitual thought that we go to this place every time something comes into question, and that's not healthy.
I mean, yeah, all that what you're saying sound good. All that what you're saying sound good. It does. It does. But if somebody violate me, I'm going to have a reaction to it. Period.
Yes.
You
the thing that you're not missing.
You asking to walk on water. You asking somebody to walk on water. And I ain't walking on water. I ain't Jesus.
With everything in life, it takes practice.
I mean, yeah, that's all. That too. But guess what? What y'all always tell me? Oh, I'm always intense. Ain't that's what y'all like to say? Here we go.
So if we try to develop a habit, say, hey, you know what? I'm gonna give someone the benefit of the doubt. I'm not gonna jump to any conclusion. I'm gonna start practicing positive thoughts. It may not happen the first time, may not happen the second time,
or the third.
But if you, in time, you would start practicing these good habits and not putting yourself in a situation where you're at a 7 or 10 and someone.
So when am I allowed to flip out? When I'm violated?
Yeah. Based off what you're saying, Jay, I think I need to change gears. You convinced me. I agree. If someone violates you, there should be a necessary response. But what I'm talking about is before we put that label of violation on it, that's where I have the problem. Before it's a verified violation, let's not embrace the psyche, the emotional feeling of being violated without the verification of that violation. So I'm with you. Once you violated, hey, you go on a 7, you go on a 10, I got your back. But before there's a verification of the violation, I think we need to suspend judgment until we can ultimately see what the deal is.
So you saying, let's check if I really truly feel violated or not?
No, the feeling of violation comes from the thoughts of being violated. What I'm saying is to suspend judgment of labeling it a violation until that can be verified. So then once you verify, is basically putting is basically being reacted to something. You have to put that natural reaction in the back seat until you can verify what's happening is actually happening. There's been several times in my life where I perceived something to be happening and it caused a correlating thought and emotion when I was wrong. It wasn't what I thought, but at the time I experienced some unpleasant feelings about something that really wasn't taking place.
I mean, I can see, now that you broke it down like that, I can see that point, because I've been getting accused of doing some stuff that I ain't been doing. And that other person feeling violated over some violation that I'm like, yo, what are you talking about? I ain't even did nothing.
Exactly.
So, I mean, okay, I get that. But we talking about something that is known for a fact. And I know for a fact that somebody went in my bag. That's all I'm saying. In the perfect example, when we came back from Vegas, I told y'all, hey, did they leave a note in y'all bag? Y'all was like, nah. I was like, oh, they left it. They went and rumbled through my bag. They left me a note saying, hey, we went in your bag. Right? I had a problem with that. Because my thing was, why you went through my bag?
Right.
Even though you left me a note, but still, you went through my bag. Why? Just some random.
Yeah, even in your description of what you're calling it, there's a difference. There'll be an emotional response. Say, for instance, I remember going on a job interview, and the interviewer asked me, was I feeling nervous? And I said, no, I'm feeling expectant. The word expectant is a more positive word than the word anxious. And so when we label things a certain type of word, you keep saying rumble through my bag as opposed to inspecting my bag. You will have, even for the inspection, you're still calling it rumble through. And if you imagine someone rumbling through your bag and not, you know what I'm saying, taking care of your personal items, it's gonna have a negative connotation as opposed to saying someone inspect my bag.
Inspect, rumble, it all feel the same to me. I'm just saying, it all feel the same to me.
Yes, I agree that it does feel the same because, I think a testament to that is the compilation of going there or thinking that before verification. And so a lot of times we're going to feel and think this way if we habitually do this thing in our lives.
But what I'm saying is, as soon as I opened my bag, coming back from Vegas, as soon as I opened it, right, the first thing I saw was this nice little note. I said, I'm in my mind, I'm like, yo, what is this? Open the note. Your bag has been inspected. Instantly, I was at a 0 and I went up to a 7. Like, yo, they just went through my bag. What you expecting my joint for? You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So inspect, rumble, to me, it's all the same. You went in my stuff. That's all I'm saying.
Yes. So it's like, driving somewhere and somebody cut me off. And I'm thinking, man, they tried me. They
like
did
last night, right?
Exactly. And I jumped on the brakes. But instead of thinking that this thing happened and it's personal to me, for me to feel amped up and unpleasant, I can choose to look at it differently. That, hey, maybe them cutting me off and making me have to step on a brake slows me down from maybe the accident that I could have had if I was traveling at the same speed. But the point is, there's always a brighter way of looking at it that comes with more pleasant emotions and happier experiences.
I think this is a good show. I think the show discussed the importance of cultivating positive thoughts when faced with challenges rather than dwelling on negative ones. The feeling of violations are valid after appropriate process of verification. So practice techniques to allow yourself be in a pleasant state of mind instead of going to 0 to 7 instantly. Overall, think positive when facing questionable situations.
And that wraps up another thought-provoking episode of Conversations with Jock. If you want more engaging content and exclusive behind-the-scenes moments, make sure to follow us on Instagram at Jock Talks. And for the complete episodes and thrilling bonus content, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Jock Podcast. We appreciate your continued support and look forward to bringing you more inspiring conversations in the future. Stay curious, stay motivated, and keep striving for personal growth. Until next time.